Hey guys, welcome to Indispection. This is a new series I'm going to be doing, and it's going to consist of weekly episodes which give my first thoughts and opinions on various different indie games, various different titles across multiple genres. So the first game we're going to be looking into is Sugar Cube Bittersweet Factory. Now this game is super cute, it's bright, colourful, and it has brilliant fun visuals. Now there was one problem with this game, which is the aspect ratio of it. The whole game is square, and the issue with it is you can't record in widescreen at all because the window doesn't allow it to be resized. The whole game itself is based on the life of a sugar cube, and essentially he's in a factory and you need to escape multiple different factories to avoid his fate of being turned into a cookie. So you start out in the cookie factory where you have to avoid your fate of being turned into a cookie, and later on you go on to 4 different factories. And you have to get your way across all the different platforms and complete the puzzles in each of the levels so as to avoid being turned into a cookie. Each level you go through has flippable tiles, so as you go along you sort of build up the platforms to play through the level. And in all I think there's 90 different levels across 5 different factories, so there's lots of different puzzles to work your way through. Now as you go through the levels you flip the tiles, which also changes the environment around you. Now you have a special skill you can use which is done by pressing the shift key, and it stops the tiles from moving. So there are times when you'll need to manipulate the environment around you and make sure that you don't flip any tiles that could be hazardous to you. You can restart the level at any point by pressing the R button. However, this does mean that you will go back to the start, you will lose any of your progress in the level, and obviously you have to get to the exit door at the end of each level to be able to move on to the next one. There are monsters in this game, however you cannot kill them, you simply have to go around them and try and complete the puzzle without being touched by them. Sometimes it can be really frustrating, and the hitboxes did feel off a couple of times. Now a lot of the times in this game you have to build the levels up as you go past it, so that you can progress through the level. As you can see in this level, going through the bottom you need to make the tiles appear at the top so that you have the platforms to complete the level. Now as you move through each level, tiles will flip around you, which will constantly change the environment. But some of the levels have different types of tiles, and as seen in this level with the mirror flips, it manipulates the environment on the opposite side of the level as well, so you have to make sure you're paying attention to the types of tiles on each level. There's also extra sugar jewels in the levels. If you can collect all of the sugar jewels across the game, you will get the true ending. So there are 2 endings to the game, and if you collect all the sugar jewels you'll get the true ending. If you don't manage to collect them all, then you will simply get the normal ending. As you can see from the little glowing lights, what they do is help to make the tiles around it a little bit more visible, so you can see where it is you need to jump to in order to solve the puzzle. As you get to the end of each factory there is a boss level. Now you cannot kill them the same with the other monsters, you need to simply avoid them the same as you did with all of the other monsters and work out how to complete the puzzle by getting past them. Moving on from the cookie factory, you then go on to the chocolate factory. And as you progress through the different factories and different levels, it also brings new types of tiles. So as you can see here, we've got a new type of tile, which is a slippery tile. It's meant to be, I think, icing. And as you move along these icing tiles, it will also speed you up at the same time, so you move a lot faster. Monsters can also flip tiles, so you need to be careful of what tiles you're flipping and what tiles the monsters are flipping at the same time. Further into the game, there's also new tile types, which are teleportation tiles, which are great tiles. They allow you to teleport halfway across the map and use your jumping and your current movement to end in the right place on the level. However, you cannot go through the teleportation tiles whilst holding shift. Coming off with the icing tiles are drips of water which will hit the sugar cube on the top of the head and will make him smaller and dissolve him slightly, which is fine, but 3 of those hitting you will dissolve you entirely, which will mean that you die and have to restart the level. So in some cases these drops of icing can be useful, helping dissolve you to get you through smaller gaps, but other times you need to be careful to avoid them. Now there are cases where you can manipulate the tiles. Usually the tiles manipulate within a block radius around you. So in these cases you can eat the special biscuit and it will move your aura of where you flip tiles. So as you can see here, it's moved it to the right of us by about 2 blocks, and you're going to need to use this to kill the monsters around you and manipulate the environment again. Now as you can see here, there's extra little sugar cubes floating about, and what this will do is if you've been hit by lots of water and icing that's dripping down, the extra sugar cube will help to add to your size again, so rather than dissolving you, it makes you bigger so that you have a bit more chance to get hit before you die. A lot of the main point of this game is timing, and especially with the fan control tiles where you cannot flip them yourself, you have to wait and see how they manipulate the tiles for you. With the timing, you need to make sure that you get it down to a T, so a lot of the time this is just waiting and making sure that you jump over all of the monsters at exactly the right time, so that you're there for the right tiles to flip. Overall, this game was really fun. It was really enjoyable. The controls felt really nice. The springy aspect of the jump combined with the audio of the jump felt really nice. And the graphic style as well, being really fun, really fitted the style of this game. If you enjoyed the game Braid, you may like Sugar Cube Bittersweet Factory. The games are very similar in the puzzle platformer aspect, and they both have the ability to manipulate the environments. Now I think what makes this game so much different to all the other platformers out there, and what made it so entertaining, was the fact that it combined multiple different game types. So you sort of had the puzzle type aspect of how you had to work out the best way to get to the right platform and where these different hidden platforms might be, the different ways to get around the monsters. All of these different puzzle type aspects helped to make this platformer completely different to all the rest of them out there. As well as the fact that there's multiple endings, the game story is really original. This game was really entertaining and combined a lot of different features to make it into a completely interesting and different game.